Hello, Aquarius. Welcome to your July reading. Let's go ahead and get started here with an oracle card. What is it that Aquarius needs to know for July? We have success and growth. We love this card, okay? But I do think there's, I do think there's a lot of work involved in this. But it seems like this is where your head is at, right? That you're in a place where you're wanting nothing more than to succeed at what you're doing. And you're probably going to really be pushing for that, which means you're going to be very focused. You're going to have a lot of ambition. You're going to have the energy to really dedicate to certain things. And I really don't want to see Aquarius getting so distracted. Okay, I actually think structure is going to be really, really important for you this month. Cancer season, sixth house energy, right? We want things to be kind of organized when we have the sixth house activated, because that organization is going to help us prepare for the growth spurt that we're going to be experiencing. Okay, and we want to be able to handle it, to manage it, so we don't crumble under the building. But it seems like what it is you're doing is the right track. So I don't know that you should be second guessing yourself. I don't know that you should have doubts. I don't know that you should be backtracking right now. I think what it is it just kind of has to be persistent pushing forward for Aquarius right now. Okay, consistent pushing forward. Well, okay, this card definitely wanted to come out. Don't let pride get in your way. Yeah, I mean, that pride, that ego, success and growth, I think, does require a lot of humility, because there's a lot of learning involved with this. There's a lot of adjustments that have to be made. There are a lot of accommodations that need to be made, right? Like, there's a lot of adaptability that you're going to need to have. So, I mean, if you're prideful, if you get in that mode of, I know everything, it's obviously going to be a problem, because you don't know everything, right? And I know you know that. I don't know exactly why this card came out, but if you do notice yourself getting a little hot-headed, especially with other people, that's probably your sign to say, okay, scale it back. Maybe listen to what other people have to say. Open your mind, open your heart a little bit, be available to other viewpoints, other perspectives, because there might be better ones, right? There might be opinions and ideas that are more likely to help you succeed and grow faster, right? So we don't want to be closed off just simply because we think we know best, all right? But I don't want you to second guess yourself either. It's okay to be confident in what you're doing, but you don't want to be so confident that you're closed-minded to really good options, okay? So let's see what comes through with the tarot cards. What is it that Aquarius needs to know for July? And we'll take that top one there, Queen of Swords. What else for Aquarius? Okay, I feel like these two. All right, so this is what I mean. Like, there are really intelligent, smart, creative people. This is clearly you right here, Queen of Swords, Aquarius, okay? And there are people coming in, there are ideas coming in, there are options showing up. And I'm looking at this Knight of Wands particularly. Like, I feel like the Knight of Wands is really only gonna come in full force if you truly invite them. This Page of Cups looks like the modality through which the Knight of Wands initially contacts you. Something small, an email, a text message, you bump into them on the street. Maybe it's a dating scenario. I don't know, whatever it is. It's kind of that initial contact. And that initial contact is usually pretty, like, no big deal. But they do have a lot of value. And this is why I think you have to be open-minded to all sorts of different people, all sorts of different perspectives, because this one is very high quality. Okay, so this initial contact, again, they're not going to just come in and just be like, hey, Aquarius, this is what I think you should do, or this is how I think it should go. They're not just going to do that. They want you to invite them in. They want you to say, hey, Knight of Wands, tell me what you think of this. And then they'll tell you, right? They're not going to offer an unsolicited opinion, I don't think. The reason why I think that is because the Page of Cups is in between the two of you. So it feels like kind of smaller steps. And maybe there does need to be a period of time where trust or rapport is established in some way, shape, or form before the real connection really starts to happen. What I like about the Queen of Swords is that you are still in the position of power. And I think the Knight of Wands understands, that it's still your life, it's still your decisions, it's your business, it's your career, it's your money, right? And they're not trying to uninvited, inject or disrupt what you've got going on. That's why they're not just jumping in and saying what they want to say, okay? I'm probably keeping their opinions to themselves initially because they recognize that you are still the one in power for your life. And I think there's a lot of respect there. And I think probably you'll respect them for respecting you, But this Knight of Wands, once invited, I think is going to challenge you a lot. That's why don't let pride get in your way. But this Knight of Wands is going to challenge you quite a bit. And they're going to have a completely different approach to things, a completely different set of ideas. But I think they're really, really good ideas. Now, this may be an actual person that you meet face to face. It could be a client. It could also be someone that you just sort of see online. It may not necessarily be like an actual real person, but like maybe it's a coach, maybe it's someone within your industry that has something to teach, maybe you see them like on YouTube or on TikTok or something. So whatever the medium through which this person, it doesn't really matter. But I think once invited, once they kind of come in, it's going to really kind of expand your mind quite a bit in the best possible way. And what I like about the Queen of Swords is she's very discerning. It's just kind of collecting information, and yet she takes her time to make decisions, right? Because you're not going to completely discount everything that you think or everything that you feel is right for your success and growth. Because it's still your life, best to a degree. But, you're also like, okay, well, maybe there is someone who has a better approach. Maybe there is someone who can help me do this cheaper or more affordably, or there is someone who can help me do this faster. Okay, so you listen, you receive, you process the information, you don't act quickly. You have a quality and an air of discernment. There's dignity, right? There's nothing brash or haphazard about any of this. Okay, we're getting a lot of like court cards, a lot of people cards. Okay. You're the Emperor here. You're the Queen of Swords. You're the Emperor. Then the King. Okay, I'm kind of seeing like this page becoming progressively more and more important in your life, becoming more and more of a support. It's like this one person or this one opportunity goes from something that randomly comes in, initial contact, again, very simple, to, wow, this person has really great ideas. I really like what they're thinking. I really like what they're saying. To someone that you actually truly rely upon and may ultimately become a substantial support in your endeavor. And I feel like it's getting more and more and more. And it's going to have that relationship, whether it's a person to person or your relationship with someone online or whatever the case may be, it's getting more and more quote unquote serious. Again, it's not like a romantic thing, but I mean, it could be romantic, but it seems like it's getting more and more serious. And it gets more serious quickly because that trust is established quickly, the reliability is established quickly, and the more and more you apply not only their ideas but your own as well. And I think there's a combination of yours and theirs. There's a combination of things that are kind of mixing together, and they do seem to be working. Because the thing about the Emperor is he's not going to do things that don't work. He's not going to do things that don't produce results. He's not going to do things that don't ensure his success. If the goal is success and growth, which I see that it is, you are only going to be doing things that take you toward the finish line. In the minute that you decide, okay, well, this isn't working, you're going to be cutting that off. And that's the thing about the Queen of Swords is when she discerns, right, when she decides or when she sees this isn't working, she's not going to continue to drag something on in the hopes that maybe it will change. No, she's going to make the adjustments very quickly. And this is what I mean about don't be arrogant. You have to make the adjustments and the accommodations. You have to be adaptable and, do so more quickly than maybe you normally would as a fixed sign. But the Emperor seems to be the aspect of you that gets used to the success, that gets used to seeing the results. And I look at this Ace of Coins, I'm like, yeah, I think Aquarius, you are going to see results. You are going to see the money coming in. You're going to see the job offers coming in. You're going to see, the dating prospects coming in. You're going to see the new homes that you're looking for coming in. You're going to start seeing it. Now, there's still just a lot of potential with the Ace of Coins, but I think that potential is something that the Emperor could do something real with. And it'll be interesting to see what the clarifiers have to say about this Knight of Wands, King of Wands, because I'm feeling like this fiery energy, and it is very fiery, and it does, I think, bring out the fire in you. It brings out your passion, your excitement, your enthusiasm, and there's kind of like this feeding energy that's going on. I'm getting a strong extroverted quality from this Knight of Wands. So this is someone who really enjoys collaborating, really enjoys talking or teaching or expressing themselves. They really enjoy being creative and sharing. Okay, they really enjoy that kind of stuff. And it's almost as though you're feeding off of their enthusiasm and channeling it into your own endeavor as well. And it's kind of bringing you to life a little bit. Not saying that you've been like this dead fish or anything, but it is kind of bringing you to life, and it's making you excited. And I think the more excitement that you put into your projects, the more successful you will be. I do think enthusiasm, I'm not saying we have to be fully enthusiastic 24/7 all day, every day, but I do think the more enthusiasm we have when we wake up and we start moving and start going about our day, the more likely we are to have more better days. The more likely we are to have more results, the more likely we are to attract the prospects, to attract the clients, to attract all the things. Enthusiasm is extremely magnetic. And maybe this is something that you're learning from this Knight of Wands. Maybe you're learning a little bit about magnetism through them, which is one of the reasons why you're sitting on that Emperor's throne in the very center of the reading. I do like the Emperor because there's an element of wisdom that comes through, and it feels like something clicks for you this month, Aquarius. Like, where maybe there was an issue where you were struggling or where you hadn't seen the results yet, all of a sudden something clicks and it's like, oh, I get it. I'm really starting to understand what success really takes, what winning really takes. And I do think there is somewhat, it is attributed a little bit to the Knight of Wands. Now, you're still doing the work. You're still the one doing all of it, But it's like, I don't know that it would be possible without this other force, without this other energy that's kind of entering into your life. Like I say, I feel like this relationship, quote unquote relationship, is progressing very quickly, and you find so much value in it. Again, yeah, I mean, I think it's an important, and this may not be permanent. It may not be something that lasts forever and ever, but for this phase of where you are, it's really, really necessary. Okay. And I think this has a lot to do with Mercury coming into Leo. Venus comes into Leo, which of course is opposite of you. So there is a lot of, other person energy being activated, dealing with other people. Okay. Okay. Now, I'm not surprised by the Five of Coins, because this quality has been showing up quite a bit. Now, when I say this quality, not necessarily this card, okay, but this energy of lack or scarcity or loss or illness or being broke or this pain, this suffering, this trauma, okay, that quality has been showing up a lot through the July readings. Now, it's not showing up as an indicator of like that's what you're going to go through. Okay, the way it's showing up for me is that we need to keep this energy at the front of our mind, because we've been here before. We've been in the Five of Coins. We've been broke. We've been sick. We've been in pain. We've been betrayed. We've had these disappointments. We've been in this place, all of us, where life has just been very dark. Okay, the reason why we have to keep it in the front of our minds, not to feed it, and I'm saying this to everyone, okay, this is not necessarily a unique message for Aquarius, but it's across the board. We're not here to feed it so that we manifest more of it. Okay, we're not going to be manifesting more of it just simply by having it in the front of our minds, but we're using it as leverage. We're using it as motivation to continue pushing in this much more positive direction, to really feed into this Ace of Coins, into all these potentials, into all this new growth. Now, the thing about Cancer season that we must remember is that this is like the time where we establish roots. So there's a permanency with things that are going on right now. And we want to make sure that we are planting the right seeds with our habits, with our thoughts, with our patterning, with our actions, with our words, with how we interact with people, right? It's so critical that we pay attention and have a lot of self-awareness in terms of how we just live our everyday life. Okay, what we do on a moment-to-moment basis, in the mundane, in the menial aspects of life. And as much as it's nice to have this big picture, and I hope you do have a big picture or a big vision that's helping to guide you, as lovely as that is, I don't really know that that's where the power is necessarily. The power is in what are you doing this moment? What choices are you making today? What types of conversations are you choosing to engage in today? Okay, it's all very broken down into like this piece by piece type of deal. But this lack and scarcity and pain energy has to be present in our minds because it's pushing us toward the opposite. It's like we're pushing against it. Like that's the wall. Okay, the Five of Coins is the wall, and we get to push against the wall to propel us in the opposite direction. Okay, that's why it's showing up. Weirdly, this is a support. It doesn't necessarily always show up that way, but it is this month. The plate, like we're like, I don't ever want to be there again. I don't ever want to experience that, right? I don't ever want to be broke again. I don't ever want to have that illness again. I don't ever want to have that type of relationship again. I don't ever want to have that type of job again. Like, I don't ever want to have it again. Push, boom, we go the other direction. And I look at this Two of Swords and I'm saying, you're going to have so many choices. So many this month. Choice after choice after choice after choice, and every single choice stacks up, right? Every single choice is a brick that you lay that is building this beautiful future. Hopefully. I mean, truly, hopefully. And I think one of the reasons why this person, this fiery energy is so important is because I think they help you. And I'm not saying that you're naturally a pessimistic person, but I think they are helping you to continually see the possibility, right? They're continually challenging you to keep thinking bigger and thinking bigger and thinking better and believing in yourself more, believing that more is possible, believing that you can do more, that you are capable of more, right? And it's just like this constant more. That's what I mean about that extroverted. It's very expansive, okay? And they think in expansive ways. And where you are coming through very shrewd, and shrewdness is a wonderful thing, but sometimes we need to balance out that shrewdness with this ballooning quality too. And I think this person kind of supplements that very well. And it's going to get you to a place that you're going to be very happy with. Even more fire energy with the Page of Wands. But again, I think this is you. I think this whole diagonal is all you. Page of Wands, adventurous, enthusiastic, okay? And weirdly, the Five of Coins is creating more and more enthusiasm. The Five of Coins is the source of so much motivation for you. Page of Wands, step by step, day by day, goes beyond the comfort zone on a regular basis, continuing to go deeper and deeper and deeper into an unknown space. This is why don't let pride get in your way, because sometimes our pride can mingle with fear and ego and pull back and retract. And we can't be retracting right now. There needs to be expansion. And I think the tendency to retract is really coming from Pluto retrograde. Okay, we have to be so conscious of this, especially as we get closer and closer to September, October, November, because September, October, November is when Pluto dips back into Capricorn. And that dip back into Capricorn is the last time in our lifetime, but it's kind of like pulling us back to that past 15-year era. Since 2008, right? A lot of that stuff is going to kind of, I mean, this is why so much is so cyclical, because of retrogrades. Okay, like retrogrades tend to bring things back. And so pushing now is going to help build that momentum so that when that dip happens in a couple of months, we don't get sucked back. Okay, we have to have a firm footing in the new territory. And we have to get far enough along into the new territory so that when that sweep happens, we're not whooshed back into, the old ways. So we want to be super conscious about how we're living our life and the choices that we're making. So day to day, keep going deeper and deeper and deeper into the unknown, into that more expansive place. You can still exhibit your shrewdness, all right, and still exhibit that keen mindset, but you have to keep trekking along, okay? So we're going to pull out the clarifiers. Now, for those of you who are new, we're going to pull out a whole bunch of new cards, and all these cards are going to be covered in the comprehensive reading. And I've put a link for the comprehensives down in the description box and the pinned comment thread down below. So if you want to join, you are more than welcome. We usually talk for another 25 to 30 minutes. So it's like a whole second reading. We get really a lot more in detail to all these cards. So we're going to start by clarifying the Queen of Swords. So what else does Aquarius need to know about the Queen of Swords? There is something about partnership, something about someone else coming through. The Devil and the Ten of Coins. Page of Cups, Judgment, Page of Swords. I like the pages in this context. Queen of Cups, Four of Cups, the Magician. Definitely seeing your skepticism at first. The Fool. Of course, the Fool comes out with the Knight of Wands, of course. And then for the King of Wands, Eight of Wands, Five of Cups, and the Hermit. Ace of Swords. Star, I love the Star. Seven of Wands, loving the Seven of Wands this month. Seven of Wands, Five of Wands are giving me really positive feelings this month. Ace of Coin, I'm sorry, Three of Wands, Five of Swords, Six of Wands, Two of Swords. We have the Tower, Six of Swords, Four of Coins. Loving the Eight of Cups so much. And we had one flip over, Seven of Coins. Three of Swords has been showing up in almost every single reading, so I am not surprised by that card either. King of Cups and another Emperor card. Beautiful. All right, so this is where we're going to pick up in the comprehensive. So if you want to join, you are more than welcome. Thank you so much, Aquarius. Have an amazing July, and I'll talk to you soon.